What's up, everyone? It's Trinidad, and in this collection video, we got the next friend I have, Anthony's Brokkos Apex of Forever Commander deck. Start off as Otrimi, but so much neg sometimes when Otrimi hits the field, they know they go after it. So in this case, you can just cast Brokkos from the graveyard. So you can mutate it from there and still get all these triggers and stuff and go crazy and go ham. So you don't have to really worry that much about commander attacks. So he's so cool. That's his ability. This deck also has a few Infect creatures. He's going for the Infect with like Glistener Elf. Got Willow the Wisp. So he can regenerate, over it. Elvish Mystic for ramp. Plague Stinger for another Infect. And also it has flying, so it can dodge things. Infect and Lifelink through, I can't even pronounce this, Flensermite. Blight Mamba, it's cool to see a Mamba in the deck, has Infect, but also that 1 in a green to regenerate it. Malira, Silvok Outcast. You can't get poison counters. Creatures you control can't have -1/-1 counters, and creatures your opponents control lose Infect. So it's a really good card in case you end up playing against someone else who has Infect. Soccer Tribe Elder, Steve. Aether Figment. It has Kicker, it's unblockable, and if it was kicked, then it comes in with 2 +1/+1 counters. Glowstone Recluse, so whenever it mutates, you get 2 +1/+1 counters, and it has Reach. That's pretty cool. Farhaven Elf. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card and it enters tap. So this is another way to get more lands. Wood Elves, same kind of deal, but just gets forest. Then there's Glass Asp. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 2 life. And at the beginning of his or her next draw step, unless they pay 2. So anytime before their next draw step, they gotta pay 2. Or else they lose 2 life. It's weird wording, a little confusing. Phyrexian Crusader, first strike, protection from red and white, which a lot of my decks have Boros in it, so it's a good card against my decks. Whispering Spectre, another flying Infect, but also whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. And if you do, that player discards a card from each poison counter he or she has. But you want to just keep it on the field. It's just a way to could end things sometimes. Viridian Corruptor, again, has Infect, but when it enters the battlefield, it destroys a target artifact. Predator Ooze, because it's indestructible, and whenever it attacks, you can put a +1/+1 counter on it. And whenever a creature dealt damage by Predator Ooze dies this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Predator Ooze. And I don't know what's going on outside, but engines are going. That's how this deck even runs. Once the engines start turning, it goes off. Flash, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Trampering Gnar, mutate, is pretty huge, but whenever it mutates, then you create a 3/3 green beast creature token. So you can start kind of going wide in a sense. Viral Drake, flying an Infect, but also the 3 and a blue to proliferate, so you can sometimes get the swing in with the Infect, and if you got enough damage through Infect, you can proliferate, and just 1 or 2 turns can just take the game. Blight Widow, Reach, Infect. Is it 2 and a blue? The entire creature can't be blocked this turn. Migratory Greathorn. It's the one where whenever this creature mutates, then you can search your library for basic land, put into the battlefield tap, and shuffle. Insatiable Hemophage. This one can bring you back from like losing the game sometimes, because whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of times this creature mutated. So you can get back your life. Parcel Beast. This one's pretty cool. For 1 and tapping, you get to look at the top card of your library, and if it's a land card, you can put it into the battlefield. If you don't put the card to the battlefield, you just put it into your hand. So gains advantage. Tel Gilad, Fallen, protection from artifacts, and Infect. Dingbat right here, little Dirge Bat. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy a target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Boneyard Lurker, 2 black and a white, or green, and whenever this creature mutates, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. The mutate cost being 2 and 2 Golgari. Shriekmaw just has fear, so kind of has a little evasion, and then whenever it enters the battlefield, you can destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. Reaper of Sheoldred just has Infect, and also whenever a source deals damage to Reaper of Sheoldred, that source's controller gets a poison counter. So, good way to deter attacks to yourself. Souvenir Snatcher, whenever it mutates, you get control of a non-creature artifact. Take someone's soul ring, it's fun. Dreamtail Heron, definitely staple in this, but whenever this creature mutates, draw a card. Pouncing Shore Shark. Whenever this creature mutates, you may return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So this bounces something. Progenitor Mimic. You may have Progenitor Mimic enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it has at the beginning of your upkeep. If this creature isn't a token, create a token that's a copy of this creature. Aetherling just has a bunch of abilities, but mostly what matters here is the can't be blocked. Sawtusk Demolisher. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target non-creature permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 beast creature token. So basically, Beast Within. Otrimi. So he's here in the main deck with Trample, but also whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, return target creature card with Mutate from your graveyard to your hand, which there's a bunch of Mutate creatures. Chittering Harvester. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Definitely a good card to have, especially since to mutate it's 1 less than its casting cost. Pooling Venom. It's an enchant land. Whenever enchanted land becomes a tap, it's a controller that's 2 life. You can also pay 3 in the black, destroy enchanted land. So obviously you want to enchant your opponent's land. Hopefully a good one, something that's giving them mana, like different colored mana. Pyresis, I don't know how to say this, but the creature just gets enchanted and has Infect. Corrupted Conscience, you enchant a creature, you control it, and it then gets Infect. Bear Umbra, which is the totem armor, and whenever the enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has whenever this creature attacks, untap all lands you control. Definitely really good. Drake Umbra, totem armor, but now it's 3/3 and flying. Kodama's Reach, to reach for some lands. Diabolic Tutor, to reach for anything you want. Cultivate, to cultivate some lands. Counterspell, just says no. Cyclonic Rift, oh, I hate this card. But yeah, especially when it's overloaded. Just return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner hand, but it's overloaded, it's each non-land permanent you don't control. Putrefy, just to destroy any target artifact or creature and it can't be regenerated. Nature's Claim, destroy target artifact or enchantment, its controller gains 4 life. Krosan Grip, to stop all them shenanigans with Sensei's Dividing Top, but just really good in general because that splits second. Return to Nature, which is alright, but now you can destroy a target artifact, enchantment, or exile a target card from a graveyard. Avoid Fate. Counters target interrupt or enchantment, so an instant or enchantment, and can only counter spells that a target permanent under your control. So if it targets something you own, obviously. Wow, right here, Fierce Guardianship, one of the new cards from the Commander 2020 set, and if you control a commander, you may cast this spell without paying its mana cost, counter target non-creature spell, so negate. But way better. Way better. And normal Beast Within. He's cool. Fire Shaker, for that double strike, especially when you have Infect, you just, whittle away. Trailblazers Boots has non-basic land walk, and as we all know, in Commander, there's usually a non-basic land on the board. Swiftfoot Boots to give hexproof and haste. Ring of Evos Isle. So for 2, the equipped creature gains hexproof until the end of the turn, and at the beginning of your upkeep, it gets a +1/+1 counter if it's also a blue creature. Plague Myr just has Infect and just a little ramp, little 1 mana. Lightning Greaves, which gives the creature haste and shroud. Iron Clawmere, Infect also, and whenever it becomes blocked, it gets +2/+2 at the end of the turn. Vector Asp, for black mana, it gains Infect. So not too hard to do, especially as a 1/1. Soul Ring, because it's Soul Ring. Fabled Passage. Exotic Orchard. Command Tower. Opulent Palace for the Soul Tie. Zagoth Triome for the Soul Tie, and also has cycling, and it's all the keywords. Jungle Hollow, just normal tap land. Thornwood Falls, another one. Watered Grave. Sunken Hollow. Darkwater Catacombs. Llanowar Wastes. Yavimaya Coast. Temple of Mystery. Temple of Malady. Tainted Isle. Tainted Wood. So many taintedness. Bojuka Bog, because if you're running black, it's good to have this. Graveyard Hate. Field of Ruin, to get rid of a non-basic land. Homeward Path. Usually play like 1 creature, and if it gets taken control of, you want it back. Then I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swamps. 1, 2, 3, 4 islands. So yeah, that's the Brokkos deck. It's broken. Not really. It's alright. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.